Hey Ringside crew, welcome to the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. And now here's your host, Joe Panther III.
Hello there, wrestling fans, and welcome. I forgot my hat. On the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast, I am Joe Panther III, and I am absolutely honored to have an awesome individual on the podcast. Introduce yourself to my internationally known audience.
What's up, everyone? My name is Vyra Lesttange. I am a 3-time DCW Women's Champion, and I am based out of the South.
Wow, awesome. So, how did you get your start in the independent wrestling scene?
That should be a straightforward answer, but it's really not. When I was a teenager, I had this friend. We met through my mom and his mom, and she had hired this lady at her job, and her husband was an indie wrestler, and I became friends with their son. And so I would go over to their house constantly because I was homeschooled. He was homeschooled. So we really connected. And since he was kind of a local legend, every weekend I was out doing shows with him, helping set up, tear down, just doing all the fun stuff. And one night I was at his house and he was having training, and he told me to get in the ring. So I got in the ring and I fell in love with it. And that was 10 years ago. And then I had one match at the age of 14. Then I had to take a little bit of a hiatus, didn't get back into it until I was 20, where I found some really bad trainers who have no business training people, let's just say that. And some incidents happened there where kind of made me fall out of love with wrestling, and I swore I would never get back into it, would never even watch it again. And I didn't up until about 2 years ago when an old friend of mine, his name is Josh, he had messaged me and said, "Hey, I just got a ring. I'm going to start having training. You should come." I said no because I didn't really care about wrestling anymore. And he's like, "Well, we'll just do things at your own pace. And if you don't like it, you don't have to do it." So I said, okay. And then went over to his house, got back in the ring, and I've been with it ever since.
Oh, wow. So where did this whole character with the cool purple lines on her eyes, where did it all come from? Did you get it an idea from your coach? Did you find it in a book? Like, where did you find it?
So one of the things that I was always taught was that when you're wrestling, because I'm actually trained by Scott Armstrong.
Oh, wow.
And he uses the analogy that if you're scrolling through the TV, someone who's never watched wrestling before, what's going to make them stop scrolling and think, "Hey, what's going on here? Who is this?" So as a wrestler, you can't just say, "Hey, look at me," even though you might want to do that. So you have to find ways to draw attention to yourself. And for me, I just decided to do some crazy makeup ideas because no one else on the indie scene, at least locally around me, does that. So I started just trying out different looks, and it just kind of stuck.
Wow. So do you remember who your first match was?
It was I don't know why I couldn't remember it. It was against Sid Silver. In my debut match, I won the women's championship in less than 10 seconds.
Wow. Wow. First match. It's funny. You're going to laugh. Every female wrestler that I've ever interviewed always tell me their first match is a battle royal or a Royal Rumble style thing. And they always lose. And you just made history on Dudes at Ringside without even realizing it. You are the first female wrestler to ever announce that your first match you won, and you won a
Yeah.
belt.
Yeah.
That's wow. What did that feel like? Did you expect it, or was it something that you didn't think was going to happen that night?
So, when I was told that was going to happen, I was very caught off guard because I wasn't quite ready to like start having matches yet, but I knew I was getting there. And then, like a week before show day, Scott comes to me and says, "We're going to put the women's championship on you, and this is how we're going to do it." I was very caught off guard because I didn't even know I was going to start having matches, let alone have the title put on me. But well, hang on, I got kicked out of the.
Well, you're here. No, you didn't get kicked out. You're still here.
Okay. Sometimes whenever I get a notification from another app, my phone just automatically skips the screen that I'm on and goes straight to.
Oh, you're still here. Your screen went black, so your camera's.
Yeah,
your
I'm trying to
camera's
figure out how to.
Look. All right.
There it goes.
You're back. Yay. And she's gone. She'll be right back, fans. That is amazing that she won the belt within 10 seconds. What did you all think about that? Oh, now she's. I can't do that. But, oh, she's back. All right. You're back. But I can't see you.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So go on about your big title, your title win.
Yeah. So when I won the women's championship the first time, I was in a group called the Hidden Gems.
Ooh.
And when we debuted at one of the endings of our show called Synergy. And we debuted by because Scott, he went out to the ring and he was going to close out the show. And while he was talking, we came out, interrupted him. I slapped him, and then we tore up the ring. That's how I made my debut in the professional wrestling world. And then, like 2 weeks later, I had my match. But the idea of the Hidden Gems was that we were a couple of students who wanted to get involved in the wrestling business, but we kept being told no, we weren't ready, and blah, blah, blah. So we decided to take matters into our own hands, and we were going to do whatever it took to get everyone's attention. And so after that, our first act was to rob the women's championship of her champion, of the title. And so we start circling the ring, and as we're circling, one of my teammates, his name Brian Baudelaire, he got up on the ring apron, distracted Sid, and then I took advantage of it, and it all happened in less than 10 seconds. And then we bolted out the front door and took off.
Oh my God, you did a CM Punk without doing a CM Punk in the wave and the kiss. Like, oh my gosh. That's actually an amazing story, because like most people just say, "Oh, I lost. I got thrown out because I sneezed and they threw me out of the Rumble." And you're like, you're winning the title in less than 10 seconds. Did you have gear yet, or was it just leggings and a top?
Yeah, I had gear.
Oh. All right, that's every wrestler I've heard in their debut match, they just have a pair of shorts, a pair of leggings, or like a tank top. Or just a T-shirt with their name because they made it with the made T-shirt. The fast mom, make me a T-shirt tonight. Okay, gotta get the letters. Yeah, it's crazy. What were you thinking when the bell rang and you were holding the belt?
It was so fast paced. I wasn't really thinking. I was just doing. At the end of the day, I was just doing what I was told to do. So I was like, oh my God, this is really cool. It was just a whole lot of adrenaline going on. But the reaction it got was everything. I'll never forget that.
Awesome. So who made your gear?
I usually find websites to order them off of, mostly Etsy or another website called Devil Walking. I find a lot of gear off of there.
Do you find it hard when you order off Etsy? Because I know there's people that you can, like a sewer, they can go up, say, hey, I need this. Do you have to like send them like a measurement if you need like a new outfit? Like, okay, I need this in width and this in length, and this is the length for whatever.
No, usually what I do is I find sellers who have like pre-made stuff, and I just order stuff that would fit my size and my gimmick.
Okay. do you, excuse me. Do you ever feel like that with certain wrestlers, you're wrestling, you have to change the gear up a little bit so you don't, like, if they have a purple in their gear and you have purple in your gear, do you have to make it like a black and purple that night, or do you have like the same gear all the time?
Typically that would be what happens, but purple and black is kind of my trademark, so it's kind of all that I have. But if they have but I have different shades of it, so if they have something that's purple and black, I will also have something that's purple, but I have different shades of purple.
Okay,
So
awesome. So one of my favorite questions that I've started asking this year: are you a last minute Lucy, or are you an early bird with packing the bags the day of a show?
Oh, last minute.
Oh no, girl, why? Explain.
I tend to do my best work when I procrastinate.
Oh
And
no.
I'm not joking because I'm doing a show in North Carolina Saturday, and I haven't even thought about what all I need to pack yet. So, I'm notorious for getting up extra early to pack the bag, and by the time I'm done packing, it's time to hit the road.
Mm. You just said another thing. I've always had wrestlers all say that they're early because they're afraid they're going to forget. Like, have you ever gone to a show and forgot anything?
I've forgotten my knee pads before.
Mm. What do? Do you go to a store and look for a substitution?
No, I just work with it. I might ask someone if they have an extra pair, but usually I just go with it.
Mm. Do you ever pack a bag the day of a show so you don't have to like worry about not eating dinner, because I know wrestling shows end like late for you guys.
Yeah, usually if I get hungry enough, I will go up to the concession stand and just grab something. But I'm pretty good about making sure I eat a good meal to last me throughout show day. And then by the time like show's over, that's when I get hungry again. So I'm pretty good about my meal planning for show days.
Mm. When it comes to your like eating the food at the concession, what is that food that you always say, I could eat that won't mess me up?
It's usually either popcorn or nachos.
Ooh, okay. Do you add extra cheese on the side? Because I love my nachos.
Not really.
Okay. I try to not add the jalapenos because I know if the ride's a 3-hour ride, I don't want to be the guy in the car that's passing the gas, like ripping ass in the car. Open the window, bro. Oh, that jalapeno got me now. So I saw on your Instagram you had a chance to be backstage with a woman's legend. What was that like?
That was so cool. The promotion Solid Rock, they had promoted the flyer. They already had the flyer made. And then the promoter, Jimmy, he reached out to me and said, hey, would you like to come work the show? I was like, absolutely. Not only did I get to work with Leilani Kai, I got to work with Missy Hyatt, who I've worked with in the past. She's great. And the Good Brothers. So I met quite a few legends that day. And when we did the 6-way elimination match, I got to perform in front of Leilani Kai while she was sitting front row. That was everything. Not only
Did you
that,
get
she gave me her phone number. So I have the ability to like reach out to her anytime I want to, and I can just send her a match and be like, hey, what do you think of this? What do you think I could do better? What should I do more of? Stuff like that. And she's so cool. She's so sweet. And just to have a legend like that in your corner, that's everything.
That's awesome. Did you get a chance to like sit down with them and like ask them advice about the business and
Yeah.
stuff like that?
So, Leilani, when I saw her, she was sitting at her little concession table, and this was like 2 hours before the show started. And I went up to her, I introduced myself, and then I started just going around saying hi to everyone else. And I didn't have good phone service. So I walked over to where she was sitting because she was sitting right by the front door, and just so happens where she was sitting was the best place to get reception. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to like crowd you. I just really need some phone service. And she goes, okay, well, when you're done, I have a seat right here for you. Sit down and let's talk. I was like, you talking to me? You sure? And yeah, we sat down. We probably talked for like 30 minutes.
Wow. That's cool. Did you feel like the gorilla came off your back when you got a chance to sit and talk to Leilani Kai?
Oh, I could have went on with her. I had so many questions, and even the day after the show, she texted me and we talked even more. So it was I just think that's really cool.
Awesome. What was it like to be with the backstage with the good brothers?
Oh, they're cool. They really honestly didn't stay backstage for a whole lot of the show. They did a lot of their stuff at the concession stands. But Luke Gallows, he's a lot bigger in person and he's a big dude on camera. But they were both super sweet, super cool. Some of the chillest dudes I ever met. I hope I get to work with them again.
There was another legend there, the one you mentioned also that was in WCW, the Queen of WCW.
Yeah, Missy Hyatt.
What was it like to work around her?
Missy's always been really cool. She's a wild child for sure, but again, super sweet, full of wisdom, and an all around just a great person. I love her.
Awesome. So, as I was asking before when we were in the green room, do you have any crazy stories on the day of a show?
Let's see. I'm sorry. It kind of cut out for a second, so I was trying to understand what you said.
Oh, can I can ask it again. I'll ask the question again. What was the craziest story? What was the craziest like trip you've ever had when you were on the road going to different shows?
The craziest trip I ever had. Let's see. I think that would be last October. I was going up to North Alabama to work for, I honestly don't remember the name of the promotion now. I don't even think they're running anymore. But I rode with one of the guys I used to train with and his wife, and we always have a great time when we're together. But it's one of those things where it's just like you have to be there to understand the experience. Just some really shady stops were taken. The show in itself was a little shady. I think the longest trip I ever took was when I went and worked in Indiana. That was not a fun ride.
That doesn't sound like a nice ride at all. Was there a lot of gas stations and rest stops or no?
Yeah.
One of my favorite questions I like to ask wrestlers, when you are traveling, some wrestlers like to go in their gear. Have you ever had to travel to a show in your gear?
No. The only way I would ever do that is if it was a show that was either right up the road from me, or if I had to do 2 shows in one day and I have to go from like I have to be there pretty quickly, and just changing isn't really ideal. That's the only situation I would do that in, but it's not worth it. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, you don't want something to happen, like something you get hot, and then your outfit gets all you're all sweaty, and then you
There's a
don't
lot
want.
of pieces to some of my gear, so it's just not ideal. Like if I need to stop somewhere, it's just a lot to take on and off. So I just don't. And also, some of my gear I need help getting on because a lot of it either zips or clips in the back, and I can't do that by myself. So I have to wait
Oh
and
no,
ask someone for help.
you need it. You need an. I would say I need an adult. I need help. Assistance.
Yeah.
Assistance. That's why. That's why you need a manager. You just get me a purple jacket. I'll be your manager. You know, get like your logo. If I lived in the South, I could just be your manager. You know, get me a purple coat. You know, I'll be good. I'll be your manager. We'll be good. You know,
Right.
you got to get a manager. They say, "Can
Yeah.
you put this on? Can you help me get this off?" Like that's what managers are for. Like, or get us like you had a stable. Did you ever think about? Would you ever think about getting, um, doing another stable like you had in the beginning?
Um, can't go too far in the details, but there might be something in the works.
Okay, no, you don't have to go into details. No, no controversy. So do you in closing, if my fans want to follow you on social media, how can they find you?
Facebook, Vyra Lesttange, TikTok, Instagram, X. They're all under the same handle, Vyra_Lesttange. But I mostly post on Facebook and TikTok the most.
Awesome. If my fans want to pick up any merch, Violet, they like if they want to pick up any 8x10s, t-shirts, anything like that, is there anything out there they could pick up?
I mean, I definitely carry all that stuff with me to shows, but if someone was interested, I would definitely also be willing to mail that to them. That's just, if a fan wants that, I'm cool with that.
Okay.
And I'm also on Pro Wrestling Tees in case you want to pick up a shirt.
Awesome. Is that it? Just you just type in your name in
Mhm.
the search bar and you'll pop up?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Is there different versions of your shirt if they want to get a different version and stuff like that?
I believe I have one or two on there. I would like to put out some more, but I got to get some more graphics done first.
All right, cool. Before we go, if there was any young fans watching the podcast and they wanted to get in the business like you did, what kind of advice would you have for them?
Mostly, biggest thing would be to not to be a leader, not a follower. There's a lot of shady people in this business. Uh, don't make friends, make acquaintances, because at the end of the day, no one in the business is your friend. They're all snakes. Um, but most importantly, have fun.
Awesome.
That's the main, because at the end of the day, in the indies, you're not making any money unless you are some big name who went from being signed to being back in the indies. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. But stay humble,
Always, that's number
train,
one.
go to the gym.
Yeah, that's number one. You always got to stay humble at the indies. People think that you have to be such a big, like big tough guy that you appeared on AEW and you got picked to go on WWE, and then think you're better than everybody. Indies is for everybody, and treat indies like it's a family and not like, oh, everybody's against me. That's why I can't stand a lot of wrestlers that get. I'm proud of wrestlers that get chosen to go on the AEW Darks and chosen to be an extra on Raw or SmackDown. But when you come back to the indies, you treat the fans differently. You treat your fellow wrestlers differently. And that makes me sad because these all people are just here doing the same thing as you, laying the same bricks as you, laying the same tar, and they all are trying to find the same thing, a future life. And the wrestling world is such a tough thing to do. As me being a podcaster, people think, oh, because of my grandfather being a name, they think I'm somebody. I ain't nobody. I'm just the same guy. I'm just trying to help myself, trying to get well known like my own self. I'm just a
Yep.
podcaster. I'm not a wrestler. I just want to have fun and help people get their name known all over the world like I'm doing. Look like I'm holding a little wine glass. I was holding a visible wine glass. But I want to thank you so much for coming on Dudes at Ringside. Thank you for choosing Dudes at Ringside. I am Joe Panther the Third.
I am Vyra, and before I go, I will say this. If you are interested in watching any of my matches but can't make it because you are not local, on Black Friday, there will be a pay-per-view. It will be live. You can purchase it. I believe it's $12. It is all sales final. There will be me, your 3-time DCW Women's Champion, taking on Bobby Thunder in a tables match.
Ooh.
There will also be Jack Passion versus Crusher Cottrell in a steel cage. We have grudge matches. We have the whole lineup. It's going to be a great show, and I highly encourage giving it a watch.
Dang it! I was too short. I didn't think about it till that when you were talking to make you the whole screen. But before I go, I did see something that you were doing soon. You're going to have a match with Sam Street. I saw something like that.
Yes, that is Saturday.
Ooh, good luck. Sam Street's been on the podcast before. Send my love. Tell Sam I say hi. I just, it's gonna be a good match. You're both Dudes at Ringside alum now, so I'm gonna have to be biased and I'm gonna be like, you're both really awesome. I'll be yelling out my window from far away. I'll got to go yell south. I'll be like, you're both really awesome. And you'll be like, who just said that? I don't know. Somebody yelled. Sam, like, I know that voice. That was Joe. He was yelling, you're both really awesome. He's not being biased. That's not me being biased. I'm just being down the middle. I have to find a quarter. I'm so bad luck that if I would say, oh, who am I going for? The coin would get stuck sideways in the dirt. And I'll be like, well, there's that. Joe's got horrible luck. I lost. Like, he'd be like, flip it again, Joe. Stuck. It would get stuck like this. Can't choose. I have to say, referee, you better be really nice that day. That's all I'm gonna say. But thank you so much, Violet, for coming on the podcast. I want to wish you nothing but the best of luck on your wrestling journey. Hope it's filled with championships and purple clouds over the indie wrestling scene forever. Thank you so much.
Thank
Again,
you.
I'm Joe Panther. That's Violet.
I'm Vyra Lesttange.
Yeah, Miss Strange. And we will catch you in the next one.